Hey guys, Dazanar here. I'm just at a local retention pond. I guess I would call this a retention pond. Yeah, it's man-made in the first place. Anyways, it's near my house and I come and clean it up, and a whole bunch of ponds in the area when the rains kind of get low, and just pay my respects to something that's struggling. What I wanted to talk about in this video after I finish cleaning up, which I'm not going to show you, I'm not going to bother recording it. You guys don't need to see me cleaning up stuff. I'm just going to show you what I have, you know. But I just wanted to ramble on about doing things a different way, and that'll be the subject of this video. But first, I'm going to clean up this stuff. My battery is low too. I won't be able to ramble very long. Well, show you what I got in a second. Boom, done. I didn't bring enough plastic bags. I mean, it's hard to carry them all out. And when I bring a big garbage bag, that thing gets so full and heavy, and I have to lug it like a quarter mile to a trash can. Gets a little annoying, but I'm glad I got all this plastic out of my pond here. Like, I do this multiple times a year, and it just amazes me how often trash continues to accumulate in these areas. Oh, someone's coming down here, so let me take a little break and we'll start up the topic in just a second. Here, I'll show you the pond though. These little algae just going out of control, eating up all the oxygen, and then they decay. And this is all from runoff and whatnot, and this is rampant all over Florida, Georgia, southeast really. Found this shoe. Oh, a whole shoe. I wanted to talk about doing things differently. And because as you can see, this is the way like most of America is done. Right? This is a high class kind of, not the highest, but like high class kind of suburb here. And I mean, they pay for aquatic care, but I mean, there's only so much that can really do. And then you have all the trash on top of it. And what are we just gonna, you can't pay or hand wave that off. That's a lifestyle mentality that we not only have here in America, but it's global. You know, you look in third world countries and they're not really ingrained to properly care for their surroundings so much either anymore. Whereas like you go back maybe 100 years ago in that same location, that wouldn't have been the case. Those societies would have actually cared about their surroundings. Or it's just saddening the direction we're heading in, and the hand waving we try and do to say that we're going to solve these kinds of things. Like, how do you solve let's just talk about retention ponds, right? Like the amount of money that would need to be poured in for the retention ponds to be more than just a retention pond, to be an actual pond that like species actually want to travel from the north to the south and reside in, and the ducks like flourish here. We don't have like duck die-offs because they choke on plastic, or frogs for the same reasons that die off. Like the ecosystem here is so limited because we ourselves have, you know, essentially engineered this and didn't want to invest but the bare minimum. And that guilt kind of gets thrown on you, the public, you, the person. It's your responsibility to either shirk that responsibility and not give a fuck about it and care about yourself only, or to figure out how to cope with you being a whiny crybaby kind of person, because the flow is to not take care of these situations. The outrage might be there. People might speak out about these things, but publicly, that's only an outcry that has to be answered with pandering, right? Like the Paris Climate Accord. There's a whole bunch of nations and islands that really want that kind of thing to to happen, and there's a whole bunch of people who are really, you know, care about the planet, myself included, that would love for us to come into some sort of like actual plan to curtail the mass extinction that lies ahead of us, and the sea level rise and the change in the climate. But I personally understand that that's just all political hand waving that these powerful nations and the weak nations are even doing to try and just kick the ball down the corner a little bit more, because the real problem isn't necessarily, you know, a government issue. It's like a everyone issue. Everyone has to care about these things. And the problem is that we don't have the time in our lives to care about these things. We're so busy trying to figure out how to make money to survive. Everyone is. And if you have the money to survive, you're probably living on luxury, and this is in your back burner, or you're one of the few elite that this is on your front burner and you're trying to energize people about it. But you are, if you're that, you know, kind of millionaire or billionaire, you are a minority, and the majority is just going to keep chugging along with this, right? These retention ponds are going to keep decaying. People are just going to keep walking past the minority of people who care about these situations and be like, oh wow, looks like a big mess you got there. And it's like, yeah, it's not even a fraction of cleanable, right? And they acknowledge and continue on with the same cycle that they have contributed to this, and they don't realize it. I've even contributed to this mess in ways that I don't realize, right? But trying to be mindful of that and going out to make the attempt to change your own life so that you can make a better impact on the planet. Like vegans, I thank you. I mean, you're trying. Most of you are really trying to figure out how you can reduce your impact on the planet. And I don't necessarily agree with it, but I agree with that goal, right? I agree with that aim. As long as it's not too egotistically like high horse, I'm better than you kind of goal. The goal is just our home, right? Like that's, thank you. I myself am not a vegan. I still eat meat. I try and eat less beef and more chicken, but you know, it's whatever too. I produce a lot myself, and I understand that. And if we don't have like a collective strategy to really work towards a better goal or a better outcome for ourselves personally, that doesn't feel forced, right? If it's forced or mandated, that's not going to work. Like if we don't find this balance, this is just going to get worse, right? Society is going to get worse. The Paris Climate Accord kind of shit is just, it's going to come out and that's going to be a flop. You know, these types of things are just not going to pan out if societies as a whole can't realize that their power regimes are not favoring their homes, right? The power regimes favor the people that prop up those regimes, which is the elite, the powerful, the multimillionaires and billionaires, and the idea of control itself. So it's greed and control that they're really concerned about. And if they can fear you into caring about these issues and make it seem like they care about it themselves, right? They can manipulate us into certain situations where we give up way more control, and they continue to not do anything. They continue to let it spiral out of control, because really who's really propping them up, the money, is getting what they want. They're getting postponement. They're getting to collect more profit, more gains. And that's all it's about, more gains for them and more profit with business as usual. And we don't even need the business as usual. We don't need business. We can do different ideas, and that's what they're keeping us from, new different ideas to be explored collectively. This planet, blah, 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 blah. Right? We're limited, and it's sad. I don't want to keep rambling. I feel like I could talk about this forever, but we're really doing the things the same way. It doesn't matter who you're voting for, Biden or Trump. Things are still being done the same way. Whether you're getting an electric vehicle and you think you're saving the planet, that electric vehicle is still transported on non-EV vehicle, is still mined using non-EV sources, was still all the trash at the miner. Like, there's so much tied together, and that we are all contributing, every one of us, even those that are trying not to, that if we can't like all see that we need a better path for whatever reason, then it's not gonna work. So much momentum. And then there was the simulation, Earth 2.0. You see why I think these things, guys? Like, things are so chaotic as is, so hopeless seeming as is, unless you're hoping for Superman to come out of the sky and swoop you up, technology to come out of the sky, swoop you up, your favorite politician to come out of the sky and erase all the bad people. Like, that shit's... I guess I shouldn't say that shit's not gonna happen, because I don't want to, like, talk down on other people's hopes and beliefs, but, like, it's not likely, right? You should fend for yourself, fend for your people, fend for your planet. Be more mindful and stop smoking so much opium and be proactive. Look at this sunshine coming out. I was afraid I wasn't gonna get any vitamin D today. All these clouds. I appreciate you guys listening to my ramble. I will see you guys in the next one. Please like, comment, subscribe. I like reading the comments. Yeah, have a peaceful day.